Unidentified vessel. Please submit your clearance codes. I can bring you in warm. Or I can bring you in cold.
This is Justin.
The Force will be with you.
This is Josh.
This is Kyle.
This is Maggie.
And we are the Outer Rim Beacon.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday night. Welcome to the Outer Rim Beacon Friday night live stream, talking about all things from that awesome episode of Book of Boba Fett that dropped on Wednesday. We hope you guys had a great week, and we hope you have an even better weekend joining with us, talking some Star Wars to kick it off right. My name is Justin. I'm one of the hosts. Joining me tonight, as always, are my co-hosts.
This is Josh.
Okay, cool. This is Kyle then.
This is Maggie.
And then joining us, we told you guys early on we were going to have guests every week that we get together to talk about Book of Boba Fett. Joining us tonight is Candace from Geeky Waffle and Alberto from Radio Rebel Pod. Welcome, guys. Hello. We're happy to have you guys on. Hope you guys had a great week. Hopefully you got a glass of water. That's at a premium.
Oh, now we're not pushing alcohol on people.
Oh no, I still got that too. That's right here.
Friday night, it's finally reasonable.
I felt water was appropriate because, this guy.
This guy, the worst.
Watermonger, dude.
Stage capitalism.
Lynn Boyle.
Stapler.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
I think he was
Seriously.
miscast. I think that character was miscast. I think it should have been this guy.
Yeah, agreed. That's what
He
I
never
call
would
it.
price gouge for his water, though.
No, he'd be giving
He's
that
about
up
the
for free.
hydration.
Yep,
He's in it
yep.
for the hydration game, not the
Yeah,
profit.
so we had a very interesting episode this week. Lots of love and lots of not love on the social medias. So it's been kind of a toss-up. I'm interested to hear what Alberto and Candace think about this episode. So Candace, I'm going to start with you and just kind of dive right in. Overall impression of episode 3, Book of Boba Fett.
I liked it, except for the use of an overused trope. And gosh, I really like the second episode. So, I guess anything
Oh, I know.
compared to that, it's kind of like you can't. But yeah, no, I liked most of it. I will say.
Second one was a hard act to follow. That second episode was pretty solid.
true.
So, Alberto, what about you? What were your initial thoughts on the episode as a whole?
Kind of similar. A couple of things that I did enjoy a lot, and others not so much. We'll get into it, obviously, as Candace mentioned. I think some of the execution of some other elements kind of fell a little bit short for me. I don't go so far like some people online, like we were saying, just hating on the color of a bike. But I think some things could have been done a little bit better. But yes, coming after episode 2 felt a little bit of a letdown, but I'm still interested in where the story is going to go from here.
Yeah, very much so. So let's talk about the bantha in the room, if you will, the Vespa gang of Tatooine. Josh, what were your initial thoughts when you see these young punk teenagers stealing water on Tatooine with their hot rod Vespas?
Underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed.
Yeah,
He's not even sugarcoating it. He's underwhelmed.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought that some of their cybernetics looked kind of
Less
chintzy
than perfect.
And I was like, why is it all humans? And while I don't think the Vespas looked out of place in Star Wars, I do think they looked out of place on Tatooine.
Agreed. Yeah. To me, it felt like more Coruscant-ish, like what you would see on Coruscant, not Tatooine.
I felt like that was the point of it, that they were fronting. This is they're teens in this backwater world, and they're trying to be all cool and hip. It felt very much like.
I love what Pablo Hidalgo said on his public Twitter, where he joked about trends taking a long time to get somewhere. So they just found out about the cool rides in Coruscant. They're like, I gotta get that for myself.
That actually totally makes sense.
Yep. No, it's like I'm half Indian, and like friends came to them like later on a lot of like TV shows and stuff like that. So the fashions of like the 90s were there in the early 2000s. So it's like a lot of the Hollywood stuff. So that's what it also, yeah, it made me think like, of course, like they're just trying to like get back. And also you have to think about like after Palpatine took over, like the trends haven't changed much.
Yeah, they're still stuck in the.
It took like 10 years for those bikes.
Yeah.
Coruscant to Tatooine. Kyle, what were your thoughts on the biker gang? I don't even call them a biker gang. It's like
it was like a Vespa gang.
Vespa gang, yeah.
They did look a lot like Vespas. I mean, aesthetically. But I will say I like the idea of like a different vehicle because I'm into Star Wars stuff, you know, like gear and things
Star
like
Wars?
that. Yeah, for sure. Sometime. Well, only when it's good. No, I'm just kidding. I have no choice. Like even when it's not that good. But it was like some different vehicles, and like they were also kind of like motorcycle speeder bike-ish, which is also cool. But then at the same time, they weren't that cool. Which wasn't I think if they were gonna do it, and I agree with you guys, it looks like it was from another planet, and they should have been beat up. Like they were way too brand new and shiny for Tatooine. Even if you bought them on Tatooine, it's a sand planet. There's no way you're gonna have that bright, shiny, glossy paint for more than a couple weeks. Like it's just not gonna look like that. So that's like such a nit to pick. But the Rancor was super dope. I know we were just talking about the Vespa gang, but they're lame. So I like the Rancor.
Can I just ask really quick, did you guys think like the Vespa gang and actually like the episode as a whole, like did it remind you of Droids, the TV show? Because I was getting like the vibe of it, and it makes so much sense that there is like this early 80s vibe, because if you look at the haircuts in the original trilogy, those guys had that 70s hair and the 80s hair.
Yeah.
So it just like made a lot of sense for it to like represent still like that punk era.
It also reminded me of the Visions episode, the Boba Fett, the
band
rock
one?
band.
Yeah.
Like the shaggy haircut that like Drash has and everything. Like,
it was very clubbish in the fashion and the hair design, and because the one guy on the gold scooter had like the long grayish trench coat with like the flopped over hair, and his looked like
I
real
have a
pretty.
Whole backstory I came up for him. He doesn't
like,
have a name.
He's in the group, but got his money from mom and dad, but really wants to be with the outside group. That's what he looked like.
I was gonna say they all look like they're like middle class, like suburban kids that like really want to go through their like angsty teen stage, and they're like, but their stuff's still like nice because their parents have money, but like they still want to be like, screw you, anarchy. Yeah,
they remind me of kids that I ran with when I was in like high school. Who like we have really bad like dirt here, and so everybody's car was always filthy. But these kids, no, like red clay that like sticks to everything.
Oh, okay, I hear you.
And these kids would wash their cars
not evil
like,
dirt
religiously, so that they were always shiny, not a speck on them. And that's what it reminded me of. Like when you have one really nice, really expensive thing, you keep that in pristine condition. You're just like, look at me, I'm really cool. I love the Vespas. I love Spy Kids. What can I say?
I was about Maggie's like, oh, this reminds me of my childhood. I was like, oh my god, Maggie was in a Vespa gang. We're gonna find out something
terrorizing the streets.
Right. That's a good take, Lauren. It could have been off, like they're transplants. They're off world from Tatooine. They brought everything over with them. They haven't found jobs yet.
Who goes to Tatooine on purpose? So, like, oof.
People who want to disappear.
No,
people who want to be thirsty. My goodness, there's gonna be a random planet with some shade.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is like
Obi-Wan.
So what you're
he had to be there.
Yeah.
So
watching a baby.
Is most of the Star Wars fandom would have to go to Tatooine if they're thirsty, because we're always thirsty.
I'm saying it's the worst place to go.
Into the Wookiee, Maggie.
Oh man,
we can
Maggie
talk about
is
that
such
a little
furry.
bit. So so we get into this. You know, we get into this after the initial. Yeah, we get
this guy.
Blacker Sand
Salt
back.
and pepper. He's aged
BK's
like a
back.
fine wine.
After the threat the Hutt's made to sleep lightly, BK is pulling Boba out of his hydrotherapy waterbed, and we get into this awesome fight scene.
Jump scare.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was good. You get this awesome fight scene with a wet Tamara Morrison in his boxer briefs and a giant Wookiee. And the full power of the Wookiee is on display. The full power of the Wookiee is on display here, just chucking him around the room. The only time I think we
innuendo or you never mind. Go ahead.
saw that again was
I have not
in
checked our own yet.
in the Solo movie, right? In the Solo movie, he's throwing Han around in the pit in the mud for a little bit and was about to rip his arms off. And here we get it again where BK looks a little bit more violent and a little bit more intimidating probably than Chewbacca.
He's got a little more meat on his bones than Chewbacca too, I think, right? He's a little more stout.
Yeah, Chewie at that point was also starved, right?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Probably,
and
yeah.
And
the rebels probably never that well fed. They're like on the run, scrimping for their dollars to put gas in the tank.
Yeah. And BK's got a gym on his ship. He's pumping iron.
For sure.
Is it bad that my first thought was, I hope there's a drain on that room because that's a lot of water to just be splashing around.
That's like a homeowner.
Who's gonna sleep when they walk in?
Kind
of mold.
Homeowners insurance on the palace,
I mean, would that have been Jabba's like sleeping quarters? Like they need a floor drain, like to hose him down, like every once in a while. Like I feel like you need that in ground drain to just let the water go. But yes,
he
does it, Romo.
In every room. Let's be real.
Right.
There's a big window there. He just air dries himself. So
yeah,
Nissa gets it.
It's a heck of a fight scene.
This episode was for the ladies. Or some dudes, I don't know, whatever you like.
Yeah, some ladies, some dudes.
Me.
Some people.
He holds his own. He fights pretty well. BK, he holds his own.
Did you guys notice
well, and then he
that
gets outnumbered.
they
did not hold his own.
No.
They seem to have dropped the B part. They just are calling him Chrysanthemum, and that was his subtitle name, and no black in there. I don't know, just something I noticed. But he was taking them 8-on-1 and ready to keep going until they dropped him down into that Rancor pit too. Like they stabbed him 42 times, I think. He did not care.
It's until Fennec comes in. I'm like,
Fennec's
like,
he had some roid rage.
Yeah.
He was some of the things I've seen on Twitter is, he should have kicked everybody's butt over there. He should have been even more ruthless. I'm like, dude, they take like 8 people on. He got stabbed like 20 times. I think
he did a pretty good job. Yeah, considering the odds.
Yeah, he got slashed by the
Gamorreans down the stairs.
Well, he had the gaffy stick stuck in his back for like a couple minutes.
Yeah. He full on Bill Goldberg speared the 2 guards down the stairs and took them out pretty quick. What's the girl Vespa? What was her character's name? Was it Drash? Yeah, she like walks up to BK when he's like throwing Boba. There was like no hurry. She just like draws it out, walks up, and just stabs him like right. And I was like, okay,
she also
let's not
was
hurry.
Completely unafraid. She's just like, I got this.
But she did not have it.
Yeah,
there was a lot of water on that floor, so if she ran, she was gonna slip.
That's what
you're.
They're not used to water
slow and
anywhere.
Steady.
So
can I just
it's like Southerners trying to drive in snow.
Yeah, they just abandon their cars out there.
Yeah, they have no idea what to do.
This is my very minor pet peeve about the Book of Boba Fett. In every single episode, somebody has spilled a tremendous amount of water.
Oh, I know. That's me out.
Like, this precious resource. They're
it
not
happened last episode with the pikes, and then it happened this episode with the speeder race, race, whatever. With the water. And I was just like, so much water everywhere, not a drop to spare.
Yeah.
Oh, the speeder chase did have every single possible car chase trope.
The painting,
you can.
There's
a painting. There's a rickshaw. There's fruit carts. There, like somebody drove up on a ramp. Every single thing that could happen happened.
But it was a
so prequel era. So prequel.
The melons at the end.
Malu runs from
from Rebels.
That Hera loves.
That's a good looking speeder though. I mean, it's like a sharp looking. Yeah, it's like a Cadillac.
Working for the mayor pays.
I can't remember who said it on Twitter, but they were like, "Did you really think that the Major Domo was going to be a speedster?" Somebody was like, "He looks like the guy who does 30 and a 50, like happily."
Right. Again, apologies for speeding in your area. Sorry. So,
How about?
like,
Did you guys notice while we're talking about that super weird guy, the mustached guy that was right next to him at the mayor's whatever, who
The one
just
at the
sat
front
there
desk?
the whole time? He's like, it's locked, and they're breaking in. He's like,
Uh,
He
not my
said-
problem.
he said,
I'm
"I
gonna
don't get
keep-"
paid enough for this."
Exactly.
when do I
He
clock
also-
out? Yes, like
Yeah,
5 minutes.
right. I don't even have health insurance.
He
so-
also plays a Boyle on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if you're familiar with that series.
Shut up,
Yes, he
really?
does.
Yeah, Charles Boyle,
Boyle.
is one of the
That's
detectives,
amazing.
and he has this crazy extended family. And the water guy
The
was
water
played by his father, the actor who plays his father, and then one of the Boyle cousins was the guy in the background. Because I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, how do I know this guy? And I had to look him up on IMDb, and I was like, there's two Boyles here.
He's known for obscure roles, apparently.
yeah, he was definitely getting on him last week about having an appointment, and before the major domo stepped in. This week he was just like, nope, I'm not dealing with this. He's like, I'm done. He's like, mayor's gone. This dude's in charge. I don't have to work anymore. I'm just gonna let him handle it. So, what did you guys think of the chase overall? Like, did you feel it was slow? Do you feel it was like an appropriate speed to watch? You're right, Kyle. Like every car chase trope was in that chase scene, but I saw a lot of feedback that they felt it was slow compared
People
to what you
hated
got in,
it?
like Solo. People hated it.
People on the
Um,
internet hated
Sean.
Star Wars. That's what
Right,
shocked
right.
me. Even though
Yeah.
it's their favorite thing, they hated everything about it.
Yeah, yeah. It was.
And
Yeah.
if it was, it was a little bit faster, they would have said it was too fast.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't even see what's going on.
Yeah.
I was thinking that because I had seen the comment that Maggie said about, it's not going to go too fast. But I also thought if they were going too fast, people were going to complain, those are crowded streets. How are they doing all this stuff? But it did remind me a little bit of that chasing Solo, which I love. And I saw a lot of connections to Solo last week. So I love that part of it, especially the protocol droid kind of getting run over, similar like in Solo. I did feel that it was pretty slow. The first time that I saw it, I watched it again last night, and I didn't have the same issues even with the Vespa gang. They didn't shock me. So I think we'll get used to it. But apart from it being slow, then it served its purpose. Again, I mean, Boa just kind of flying his jetpack. He could have done that in 2 minutes instead of just letting
Right.
these kids. Maybe just, okay, go have
But
your
he
fun.
had just been beaten up by a Wookiee.
He needed a moment. He
They
needed.
gotta earn their pay.
He's also these kids.
Look,
It took
They
a
gotta
while
prove
for
their
them
worth.
to react to a
Mhm.
Wookiee invading that palace. Who's in charge of security?
They did not set the alarm, apparently.
Yeah, so
Bubba-
they,
Jabba
gotta
never set his
earn
new
their
password.
Boba Fett went to the same school of thinking as Batman. If you find cool kids, just adopt them and they'll do the work for you.
And put him in harm's way. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what he did. He said, "You go. I'm going to get suited up in my bat cave.
Oh,
And then I'll
look,
drop
orphans.
Orphans, my favorite."
Yeah.
I love when he comes down after getting beat up, just putting his robe on, not really caring.
Yeah.
Trasanta's still down there kicking ass, and he's, I got to put my robe on before I go downstairs.
Yeah, that seemed a little off to me. I thought it was funny.
He knew the
Boba
ladies
Fett,
couldn't handle anymore.
yeah, no, it was too much. I was like, he's still.
Show's
They
over.
were gonna have to change the rating. Yeah.
Show's over.
He's
Boba
just a
Fett-
modest guy, right? Like he just, caught off guard. Got to put a robe on before I go down. You know,
I mean, they've got that big open floor plan and the stone walls. It's got to be drafty. I mean,
That
even
too.
in the
He
desert.
was just wet and
Yeah.
like naked, basically.
which
Yeah.
it took forever for Fennec to get in there. She didn't come in until they already had BK cornered over the pit, right? And then she runs in fully dressed in her outfit and hits the button. Does she not
think she
like
sleeps in
change
it.
at all? She just sleeps in it.
I mean, I figure like Star Wars people only have.
She must smell
one
terrible. One clothes.
One clothes. Like
Yeah.
I know that in animation, it's because it's animated, and that's why they don't have like multiple outfits. But
Hmm.
And
So
Star
maybe-
Wars, it's just
Unless you go for a few seasons, then you can get an upgrade every season or two.
Yeah.
Unless you're Padme,
Get a new haircut.
you have one outfit.
you're Padme, and you change every hour.
Yeah, for sure.
One
and
extreme or the other. It's like celebrities and their shower habits from a couple years ago or a couple months ago.
A couple
Oh my
years.
god, that's what we talked about when we were here, when I was here.
Years, months. There's time has no meaning anymore.
But I figured they
It
had
doesn't.
that Sonic. Isn't it like one of the Sonic shower things, so it gets clothes clean too? It
Yeah.
was in
Maybe.
the books. And that's
I mean,
just what I clung to, so I don't think all my Star Wars characters smell horrible.
They have all this really cool technology. Maybe they just take their outfit
They're
off,
all
they throw it in a
nose
little
blind.
thing, it steams it, does its thing. They wake
Mhm.
up in the morning, they throw the same outfit back on, and it's done. So, and that's the only reason Tem's probably in the boxer briefs because he's
Yeah,
in
his
the
outfit.
hydro thing. He's in
Yeah.
the tub. So,
Well, we know you have to wear some sort of undies to get in a bacta tank. That's just the way it goes.
Well, the
least he doesn't
Bacta
have
is
a
cold
diaper.
too, so
Except for Vader in Rogue One, because he didn't have any.
He
He
just-
got cut off.
Yeah.
There's nothing to cover.
yeah. What's
Oh God.
what did you guys think of the return of the twins? We had the twins back
Oh
this
my
week.
God.
These guys. Ugh.
All I cared about was when I saw the Rancor, and then I was like, "Is that Danny Trejo?"
Yeah, yeah.
Because like up until that point, I was like, "This is definitely directed by Robert Rodriguez. Everything about this is Robert Rodriguez." And then I saw Danny, and I was like, "This is Robert Rodriguez.
Mhm.
You cannot have something directed by him without Danny in it."
And it seems like it's going to be a recurring role.
what a perfect role for him too.
Yeah, at least-
I've
at least
always
it
wanted
is
him in
perfect.
Star Wars.
Mhm.
I
Malakili who?
Yeah, I mean, to
Exactly.
be honest, I
This
got
guy.
to see Boba riding on top of a Rancor at this point.
Can we?
Rancors
can
are
we-
so hot right now.
It needs to happen because
Can we talk about the fact that they
Yes.
essentially canonized the holiday special?
Yeah.
we talk
yeah,
about
I mean
that?
he's
Riding the giant beast.
Yep.
The dragon. Even though he was very mean to that dragon, which I don't think is canon because he was very nice to that Rancor. He
Well, this was
giving it
before his
back.
rebirth. He's a changed
That's true.
man.
That's
He was having a
true.
bad day.
He was an a-hole back then.
Yeah.
Including to animals.
He was a
But
turd as a kid too. We've seen plenty
Oh, yeah,
of proof
he
of
was a
that.
Oh, he was an absolute turd.
Ugh.
Do we think that was do we think that's Moochie?
It's a boy though.
Waiting for it. I was
I
watching
know.
it with my daughter, and she's
Must be a
watched
girl?
the Bad Batch. And then when she says, "Oh, wait, that's from the Bad Batch," the Rancor is Moochie, and okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I don't think it'll be. Will be kind of a little nice nod to it.
Mm-hmm. Did they
He
He
say
did
whether
call
it
it
was
a
he
boy
or
though.
she?
Candace is
Did he?
right.
Yeah.
They called
Candace-
it a boy.
Okay.
Which
Well,
I mean,
you know-
it could be like you pet a dog and say "good boy." I mean, I don't
But,
know that he
like-
checked.
But Moochie was a
Girl.
calf a while ago as well. Like
Yeah.
That's true.
20 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
15
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago. How long has it been?
What's the
But
Well,
who
the
knows?
life
Baby
how long-
Yoda's
expectancy on a
How long are
Rancor?
Rancors
Yeah.
calves though? You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
what's their life?
There's some timing issues with the Book of Boba Fett that I'm still confused by.
Okay.
He gets out of the pit, and then we're somehow in Gunslinger, because when he goes to Mos Eisley, Pelly's walking by, and they're putting the
helmets.
stormtrooper helmets on the pikes, which is from the opening of Gunslinger. So like Fennec's getting shot somewhere, and I thought there was more time in between Return of the Jedi and the Mandalorian. Like, did we do a time jump? Was he with the Tuskens longer than we thought? Like,
The
That's sort of what I
There-
thought.
was
The
he
pikes
in?
were there. This was when they were first putting them up, so there could still be.
No,
They
but
could've-
it
was
seemed
it
like
the
it was in-
Same stormtrooper helmets? Like,
yeah, it was the same shot.
Mhm.
Like they were
Right,
definitely.
but this
Pelly
was when they
walks
were
by,
putting them on. That was just a shot of them.
But
in
I'm
the
sure they
Mandalorian.
did. I'm sure they weren't there for 5 years.
I don't know.
I don't know
You
why
know,
not.
It could be there in perpetuity, or
An art
he could have been
installation.
with the Tuskens for a really long time. That's kind of what I thought. Like he
Yeah, that
probably
was my
didn't go
assumption.
from tied to the stake in the ground to
Mhm.
like one of the top dogs in a week. It probably took a year
Yeah,
or 2
I
years.
assumed
You
he was
know,
still
like,
with them.
he was probably out there for a long time.
Yeah.
And this would have been I feel like this would have been like right before we see him over the in the sunset. There's my armor. That moment.
Mhm.
Like not long before that.
Well, he has to. Yeah, because he has to find Fennec first before.
Yeah,
that.
he finds Finnick and then his armor. Or
Yeah.
he might have known where his armor was all the time.
Well, that's
and he
why.
just-
That's why I assumed that they were implying that was Gunslinger, because that's when Fennec's getting shot. And so, if next week is the flashback to him rescuing Fennec, that would make the most sense.
Mhm.
But still, once again, this is just Star Wars going timeline.
Yeah, they like to
Right.
leave that
Honestly-
very gray.
If Empire, I didn't question it as a kid. I'm not going to question it now. The timeline of that, I'm not going to question any Star Wars timeline.
This is a good point. Moochie was wild, and they like found her, and this Rancor was raised by I guess breeders or whatever
Yeah.
version, and he put blinders on it and had it or whatever. So
Good point.
definitely not the same. But there have been a lot of Rancors. That's what I was going to say. Like you mentioned, they were in the Bad Batch. We saw people riding them in the comics. They tried to
HasLab.
do the HasLab that did not make. Now he's showing up in this. We got some
HasLab's probably like,
Rancors
if you
for
all would have just waited a couple of weeks.
2 more weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to.
It's still a lot to.
Maybe if they did a Danny Trejo figure with it, that thing would have sold.
Oh, no, that would have been sweet. Yeah, that could have been instant. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like, well, dang it, if Boba Fett shows up on riding a Rancor, now I'm going to be really pissed. I didn't get the HasLab Rancor. So, but there are
But
other
it's not
places
the
that
same
you can
Rancor,
get it.
Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, you could get. I mean, you can get them elsewhere. So I got places.
Do you think the
Yeah.
Huts are coming back? That the twins are coming back? This is just part of the game, or are they really kind of yeah, whatever? We're just going back to Nalhara and forget this crap.
That's a good question.
I think they're out. I don't think they're playing a game. They're like the little bit we know about them is that they're like partying socialites. So I think they just
They don't
hopped
wanna
on
work.
something, but this isn't something that they really had their heart in. They it was just an opportunity for power, but they're not willing to like get their hands dirty.
I agree with you. I think they were taking a stab at it, and if it didn't take, it's no big deal.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It's
Are the Huts all like? Is there such thing as like a poor Hut? It seems like they're all like
loaded?
running
have
a
you
crime
watched
family or inherent.
Have you watched the Freemaker Grbala the Hut?
Oh,
He the one that was
Oh
trying to
yeah,
do the
yeah,
hotel in the
yeah.
holiday?
He's a hustler. Yeah.
He's in the Freemakers and he's trying so hard to like make his casino.
He's a real estate mogul. He's got to have some kind of capital.
It's very hard for him. He's very
would
jealous
think.
of Jabba.
True, he's struggling.
Yeah.
He only has Dengar as his bounty hunter. He really wants Boba Fett. It's such a good series.
Subpar.
Oh my
Dengar.
goodness. New Rancor.
I was about to
on the
say, don't talk
Rancor?
crap about a series. It's actually very well made.
No, Dengar. Is
Yeah,
subpar.
Dengar's a
Wrapped in
joke.
toilet paper.
I think that's what a lot of people just, if you go on social media and read what people are posting, and I'm going to put it this way, the crotchety old people, right, that grew up with Star Wars.
Justin
I'm an old
Spears.
person. I am not a crotchety old person. Any new Star Wars for me is good Star Wars for the most part. There are things I don't like, but I'm not going to poo-poo it. But a lot of the people look at it and they go, well, this isn't what I expected of the Book of Boba Fett. Where's Dengar? Where's Boss? Where are all these other bounty hunters that are supposed to be here? And how come they're not more violent and riding speeders? And I'm like, you know what? I like the story so far. I like the way that it's been told. I could say the scooters weren't necessarily my thing, but it didn't bother me that much to the point I'm like, I hate
quit?
Star Wars now. I'm quitting. This
Yeah.
is lame. Like,
That's a
stupid
frustrating
Star
thing to me
Wars.
that people do. They did it with the sequel movies too, and I'll be the first one to admit that I had issues with some of those things. But like, it seems like people have their expectation of what they think is going to happen, and then anything other than that is bad, which is insane because you are not going to predict the entire plot line and every story beat before it ever happens. So like, I
If
just
more
don't even get the
people-
thought process.
Could just learn to read fan fiction.
True.
Fandom would be so much more pleasant. Oh, you didn't like the way that ended? There's 500 fixes.
There's somebody else that wrote it every
Find
other
it.
possible way.
Find it.
Also, I don't understand why they thought Boba would be this way after we saw him in The Mandalorian.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he changed like so much. Like he's like, I'll help you find the kid.
Yeah.
And
And
you're
he
like,
made
"What?"
a point of like saying it too.
Yeah, he's
He
like,
did.
we had a deal. Like, and you're like, well, what did we know about Boba before, and what we know about him now? And he's like, really intent on helping Din find this child. You know, he's man of his word, and he's doing all this stuff.
And
then
he's basically like the cool dad with a ship driving them around, like, all right, everybody get on board. We're going to go chase down the Empire again.
Better be out front of the theater by 7:30 when the movie is done, or I'm leaving you.
And honestly, I think it's more interesting than a weekly bounty hunter shoot 'em up would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it adds to his backstory,
Which is
and
what
gives
people
him more
think they
character.
want.
Yeah.
Well, look who decided to show
Oh,
up.
there's Duke. Duke.
Wild puppy.
We're on our gross zoomed in screens, so he doesn't get the FaceTime he deserves.
Yeah.
I think in Mandalorian you didn't get as much complaining from the old grumpy contingent because all of Boba's like humanity and moral code and stuff that they gave him was also surrounded by like the joy of the fact that he's actually back and alive, and the like that debut that he got where he murdered 50 stormtroopers with a club.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so
Super sick. Yeah.
we're able to like look at these things and kind of ignore the other things that they didn't like.
And it's a very different light when we see him in Mandalorian when he first talks to Mando and basically says, look, the armor belongs to me. And then when he finally gets it back, he takes the time to explain why it was important to him, the value of it, who he got it from. And you kind of went, oh, okay. And the last time I think we saw Boba was what, young Boba in Clone Wars, right? And he was still
punk
Yeah,
ass
and
he was
kid.
a little punk kid, right? But clearly
Yeah.
between that time gap, he's developed more of a moral code. He understands tradition of the armor and his father, and clearly he's had we see in the flashbacks with young Boba in this series that it hurt him, right? It affected him.
He was a
Every
latchkey
time
kid.
Tango left. Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm stuck here with like a bunch of other dudes that look like me. Like, this is weird.
Who at least get to do stuff. At least they were like getting trained and being brothers and living together, and he was like in his suite alone watching
He was
Dad fly off House
Rapunzel.
Slave One.
Well, he was
Yeah.
Rapunzel, wondering
was
when
in
his
the
life will
tower.
begin.
Yeah, he was like almost an outcast in comparison to the other clones.
And
who
they
were all-
treated him that way too.
And they treated him that way. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see this backstory that we're getting from Mandalorian into Book of Boba Fett and how it's developed his character. And again, I think it's great because I like watching that. It's added much needed depth to a character that had none after Return of the Jedi, pretty much, other than the canon stuff. And I think people are just upset that he's not as ruthless as they had pictured in their heads when they were growing up.
And there is still a long story of him being a bounty hunter in the Mandalorian armor as an adult, up until Return of the Jedi and for, a decade or more before that. So it's not like those stories don't exist to be made. A lot of them have been made in comics and stuff, but like it's just a different thing. That thing already happened. This is
Reminder.
the next part.
After his father died, he was partly raised by Aurora Singh. He was not well after that.
Yeah,
He did some probably terrible things after that.
did.
He was raised by that woman.
Imagine waking up to a woman with white skin and an antenna sticking out of her bald head. It's terrifying.
Filled
It's
with
traumatizing. Yeah.
Young
she
Boba
wanted-
would ride a Vespa, I think. That's what we.
He would
Like,
ride a
a fun
Vespa.
kid will drive.
You know,
You can-
controversially, who else would ride a Vespa like that? Count Dooku.
Oh,
Very
100%.
true.
100, yeah, exactly.
This
It
would be
would
like
be even
chrome or
shinier than it was when
something.
we saw.
Yeah.
He would have taken the gold one out of
He'd
those
have
colors.
like
I think
he'd
be
have like
on that
fire
gold one.
flames on the side of it. Fire flames. Wow, that was redundant.
Fire
Flames.
flame.
Good flame in there. He'd have the the glitter mixed into the paint, all sparkly
Oh,
and done up. Oh yeah,
But he had the upscale version that drove itself. He didn't want to mess with it. He was just gonna
little robot
drive
sitting
me
in the
around. Yeah.
And
back like this.
Honestly, we can't complain about pain and stuff when like Sabine Wren exists in this universe,
This is true.
That's what I was thinking. I
Queen-
was like,
Queen
some
of
of these people
graffiti.
don't like Sabine Wren, I can tell.
I feel like Sabine would get on with the speeder gang.
Ooh,
Oh
nice.
yeah. Oh yeah.
She'd be out there
She's all about
tagging buildings. Having a good
And
time.
it's interesting. The speeder gang, right? They bought the bikes, right? They bought those bikes, which apparently are expensive. They also paid to buy the implants because the one guy says, "I paid a lot of money for." Or he's like, "What do you say? Don't
Keep an eye on him. Oh,
keep
sorry.
an eye on." He's sorry. He's like, "Oh, don't apologize. I paid a lot of money for this." I'm like, if you don't have a job, again, we go back to that. Where did you get the money for all
They
this?
stole
Our
things.
trust fund, kids.
It reminds me of like there were like just like kids in high school who like would just spend money on designer brands and like they would work and do things like that, or they would get an allowance, but then they wouldn't have money for other things. Like
They
To
just
go
spend
to
it
the
all on
movies,
that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Who here, when they were younger, didn't spend most of their money on their hobbies and whatever, knowing that I have $20,
I
I'm going to
still do
spend
that.
18, and then I'm going to be broke for the rest of the week. So that's why,
I-
they're young kids, have
I did
some
that
type
with my
of money,
last
and oh
paycheck.
no, there's Tiernan. And then just spend it all on the Best Pass, and we have no money.
Yeah.
This is
I
so
have
true. I sit over here knowing I have to pay off the IRS a significant amount of money, and I have a Qui-Gon Jinn and a Poe Dameron figure sitting next to me.
Oh, you did get the Poe. I didn't know
I
if you
did
pulled the
get the
trigger
Poe.
on that guy.
I have that challenge every week with Sideshow, and they go, "Oh, hey, here's this new Hot Toys figure that just dropped." I went,
I had to unsubscribe because it's all way too tempting. And I was like,
I'm still waiting for the Zemo
They'll-
one. That's
they'll
all I'm
email
here
you
for
too.
still.
it'll still email me. It'll still email me after I
My God, they
unsubscribe.
email me 3 times in a day sometimes.
Mhm.
Sideshow.
They're like,
Yeah.
guess
They
what
really
we
wanna
have?
make
And I was
sure.
like, I can't
They're
look.
pushing they're aggressive with their product.
They know
Yeah.
you're addicted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
I want to say that I'm
welcome.
really
Thanks for coming.
disappointed in all of you that
Uh-oh.
you forgot.
what? What do we forget?
He's already in the gang.
Oh, this is
Oh
true.
yeah.
Already
And he
there.
does have a gold one, and it sparkles.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Look at that cape. Ugh.
It's the best.
What a
He's the
king.
There were
best.
just so
True
many different
king.
speeders, I think, that we've seen to this point that when those rolled out, everybody's kind of like, huh? Like, wait a minute.
This one's pretty close, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's not far off. That looks more like the Clone Wars ones
Well,
that
It
were
is.
like kind of bigger in the front, well, but long in the back that Sabine and Ezra were on, I think, when they were on Mandalore. Is that where they were from? Maybe. Not where Sabine was from, but you know.
oddly
Crow's Nest?
specific.
There you go.
Crow's Nest.
What is that? Pro Vespa?
Pro Vespa, because she saw a lady in Rome.
They're
It's a
cool.
good
I
reason.
love Vespas.
Good enough
Like,
reason
they-
as any.
I mean, I ride a motorcycle. I love Vespas. Like, there's nothing wrong with them. They're cool vehicles, but it was just shocking to see like that kind of thing. I think on Tatooine, and everybody's like,
To me,
"Wait a
it
minute."
was.
I
they
still don't think that paint job would hold up in the sand.
No.
Sorry, Alberto.
I
Maybe they just
think-
got them.
Yeah, and also I think that they if they can like invest or like invent these kind of like things, they can invent paint that doesn't like smudge or stay shiny.
Oh, unsmudging paint? I don't think so. Hyperspace,
Impossible.
maybe, but
Impossible.
Hyperspace, but I draw
Yeah.
the line.
But I honestly think they're supposed
non-chip
to.
paint.
I think the point of them, they're supposed to look foolish.
Mhm.
You know, like that's the point of them. They're supposed to look
They're
like
camp.
yeah, they're supposed to look like these idiot
that.
kids. You know, like just
I say yes.
shine-
Vespa.
Don't deny her. Let her unbox.
No, but you can get 2.
Do it.
Let her unbox
can't
wait
the
till Tab
Vespa
breaks her
on
arm.
TikTok.
falling off of it.
Is he
Got
calling you?
that.
Are you calling her clumsy right here on air? That's rude.
Yeah. It's the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts.
Okay. Well,
Oh my god.
Hey
Do
Kyle,
it.
Truth bomb.
remember last week?
here we go. You accidentally say one thing one time. Sebulba. Okay, Sebulba. Sounds like Bulbasaur. Okay, it was a slip of the tongue.
Meme credit to Tiernan.
I know
Wait.
she was on it. Appreciate.
She's a meme
appreciate.
queen.
It was funny. It was good. Which I think I dropped a contest. Nobody answered who it was yet. So
Yeah,
prize
I
is
know.
still out there. people.
Losers.
Go back, watch it, let me know, and we'll hook you up with a prize pack. I got lovely,
Lots of calcium. That's good.
lovely Rebel
Some of the
or
coolest
Empire.
stickers and
Look at this. This beauty. It's ready to go for Celebration 2022.
if
Did anybody get an email from
Yeah.
Celebration today? Did anybody else get
Yeah.
an email?
They're
Like,
still
hey.
telling you to sign up for stuff.
Your deadline's January 31st. Nothing new. Just
No,
your
your
deadline.
deadline's January 31st. Celebration.
what's the
Give us some-
deadline?
For
Yeah.
fan panels and stuff.
volunteers and panels and things like that is January 31st. And they
I
send
still
out
don't have tickets, but
Me
I have my
neither.
hotel.
I saw on
Better sign up
Facebook.
for that fan panel.
information, like even a save the date, maybe like, hey, this is when we're
It's-
gonna start ticket sales. Be ready.
Mm-hmm.
honestly,
I saw a
starting to
couple
make me
people
not
in the
wanna go.
Facebook group got refunds, so there are some tickets available.
Okay, there we go.
I mean,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least the 3 people I saw post it. That's 2 of you accounted for.
Yeah.
Be
Tab,
quick.
boom. There we go.
No
Yeah.
information on lights, no information on guests, no nothing yet.
And
So
my heart goes out to the people who purchased the Disney After Dark tickets and did not read the fine print.
no,
That says that they are not refundable, but you can transfer them,
surprise
which
there.
is a big old slap in the face of people who do not live in California.
mhm. Now if they cancel it, if Disney cancels it, they will refund your money.
Dicey.
If you choose not to go, you get no
It's
refund.
Not always true with Disney. They'll
Yeah.
sometimes say we'll just transfer it to the next date, and they won't even refund you.
Like, hey, I live in Ohio.
I
I'm
mean,
not
that's
coming
kind of
back.
like how it is with concerts and stuff too.
It
though.
wasn't previously, so they changed their stuff.
Can you get a ticket for Disneyland move to Disney World?
No.
Doubt it.
Hmm.
Send it to me.
Although, I mean,
and you
it
can't
is.
and you can't transfer it to other people. So
Oh.
previously, you could transfer your tickets to somebody
Oh,
else,
yeah.
and they took that away.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing
crazy.
is like if Disney might still have the Star Wars night because Disneyland's open, but
mhm.
yeah, if people are like, I'm not going to waste a trip to California,
Right.
in a hotel thing just for
And a flight. The thing that gets me, I think, sorry to like bring the vibe down, but I can't
This is
picture getting
Maggie.
on an. Yeah, that is me. I just can't picture getting on an airplane for 4 to 8 hours, depending on where we're coming from, and then being there because you won't know for a couple days if you're contagious. And then like you're there, and then what if you get sick and then you have to come? Like there's so much. My hypochondriac brain. There's too much contact until we know what's happening.
I'm gonna put a fishbowl on my head and just that's gonna
I'm
be
gonna
Get
be the
COVID.
Mandalorian.
yeah, we all get a Mandalorian outfit.
yeah.
Get COVID and then go right after your quarantine is done.
This is bad advice, and hopefully,
Yeah, no,
Joe
no,
doesn't do that.
Josh, you guys are gonna get kicked out of YouTube.
Wait, what?
Oh,
If somebody can report you.
This- Yeah,
Okay.
this is
Don't
unvetted.
Don't listen to the guy with a foot on his hat. he doesn't know anything.
How dare you
Pull it
disrespect
down,
the
so you
shredder?
Put it in your mouth.
The Foot Clan.
Foot Clan.
Clan. Yeah, the Star Wars night was I saw this. The Star Wars night was it kind of came out of nowhere, right? Like they released it. It was just like here's the like ticket release. And I think they just kind of threw it up there and then people were getting in a queue and they had to wait in the queue forever to just buy the tickets. So it was new. It was kind of a little surprise to everybody to just, hey, here we go. We're doing this. And then, okay, all right, let's
Would
go.
have been nice if they gave people a heads up because I didn't know about it until like all the tickets were gone. You know,
Save the date would have been nice. Like, hey,
Mhm.
gotta get in
That's
the
the thing
queue.
that's killing me. Like y'all used to be able to communicate things. What happened?
You think it'd be
Plus-
easier with everybody working at home. Like,
E23
it's
went
easy.
digital. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
D23 or
The gaming one. The
Oh,
big
E3.
gaming.
E3.
Yeah, E3.
E3.
E3? Okay, I was like, it's D23 is supposed to be like a week after.
After.
Yeah, because I was just planning on staying with like my best friend co-host. She's they're in LA, and I was just gonna stay that week and work from their place, and then we were gonna go to D23.
Or you could go to E23,
That'd be
which
an
is
awesome
the week after
trip.
that one. Lesser
Yeah.
known than
Yeah.
the D23.
yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's only Disney video games.
Hey, give me all the Kingdom
Fair.
Hearts spin-offs, sequels.
My brother loves Kingdom Hearts.
That was my
I love
jam as
Kingdom
a
Hearts.
child. That made me get
I
like
can't imagine two Disney nerds loving Kingdom Hearts.
I know.
So
I don't think I've
weird.
ever played that game.
It's so good.
It was very popular in the early 2000s.
It's like Final Fantasy plus classic Disney characters, kind of,
And then in the new stuff, you have
and key swords.
current Disney characters.
Tab, I've never seen you drink a glass of milk.
You know, we can get calcium like other ways, right?
I know.
Okay, just making sure.
Maybe she's just genetically strong-boned.
Everybody, we're getting on a plane. We're gonna go party. For...
T23?
T23. I like it.
T23.
Tiernan, I knew you like right after you turned 21. This is terrifying.
We all go to Ogla's.
Yeah,
I would love to go to that. I didn't get to go.
It's fun.
so
Few
good.
times that I've been, and I just missed out. I couldn't get a reservation, so I would love to go. I will spend a lot of money on drinks, unfortunately.
Okay,
but
but there's only two. You can only have two drinks max.
oh, that's it.
Yeah.
At a time?
at
Ooh.
a reservation. I've been there about 3 times, I think. And like there's like a limit, and also you have a limit of time too. We didn't
so
get
it's-
kicked out, but like because our Rise of the Resistance thing kicked in, I was like, we have to go. We have to go.
So that's to encourage turnover, not to like you're only allowed 2 drinks.
No, they also
No,
just
not
don't want
when
you getting
Epcot
drunk
happens.
at Disney.
Oh.
Well,
Well,
Epcot.
you
is a
still
thing.
can.
Oh,
Yeah.
Epcot, yeah, no, Epcot, you can get like
Trust me.
super.
And I'm like, Epcot's
Well,
the
that's
land of
like
drinky drink.
all you can do at Epcot is get drunk and eat food. Those are like the
And
only
actually,
things.
it's kind of fun just to sit around and watch the drunk people, especially if you go to England, because everyone starts in Mexico. And by the time they get to England, they are like crawling.
I go straight to England. That's the Rose
Mhm.
Pub or whatever it's called. That's like my favorite.
The
place to
Rose
go.
Crown.
The Rose Crown. Yeah.
Can you guys tell I'm local?
Yeah, it's 2 drinks. I mean, you can drink the blue milk and the green milk. They have alcohol in that now.
Yeah, they do have those versions.
So I imagine there's not much.
Because
in
who
it, and
doesn't
those
love alcoholic milk? Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, it's not real
It's
milk.
not real milk. It's
Well, no shit, guys. Thank you, but
Oh no, it's like there's not milk in it
Star
at
Wars
all.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle, are you aware it's not milk?
they don't just dye the milk blue and give it to you and charge you $12.
They would. They
Although
could
they
if could.
would,
They would.
But actually,
I don't know
it's
why.
vegan.
Mhm.
It's vegan something. I don't know what it is.
Do you prefer the green or the blue?
I don't
I
like
like
either.
green.
You don't like either?
Green is better. I found out last week Arzu actually likes it, and I was like, "What? You like the blue milk?" I'll
I
do
I
it
like
for
enjoyed
a
the blue
photo
milk.
op.
I liked it.
yeah,
I didn't try the green one, but the blue milk wasn't too bad. Well, I still had like a quarter left, and I couldn't finish it. But
The
wasn't
blue
too
milk.
bad.
Okay, if you can't
Coats
drink an
them out.
entire glass of a drink, it wasn't very good.
I mean, it's not, and it's not huge. It's
Yeah, it's a pretty
it's
decent thing.
really it's what 12 ounces probably.
It's a-
I think so.
Blue milk will coat your mouth with some kind of
Yeah.
film, and it's just like not a pleasant thing. And
No.
there's
Are you
better
cooking
drinks
with
to have.
colored milks here, Tiernan? I mean, come on. How confusing
then
can
I-
it be?
And then I poured my blue milk in. and
Yeah,
then
she
I
accidentally
green milk.
added green milk. Yeah.
But they have
We'll
some
be
good
okay.
drinks at the roasters, the Ronto
What's the
roasters.
best
I
one?
love Ronto.
They have something sunrise. Maybe
Like
it's
a
a
Melu
Tatooine
Run
sunrise.
Tatooine
Oh yeah, maybe
sunrise,
a
Blue
Hillary, yeah,
Run,
that one's
something
good.
And
around.
the
Those
docking,
are good.
the docking bay had I can't remember what they called it, but it was basically like Mexican hot chocolate. So good. With like the
No.
spice
What is
and
the
soup
name
with
for
it.
that?
I can't remember
Chata?
what it's called.
Yeah, they put like a little bit
No,
of cayenne
Not
in
rum
it.
shata. Yeah.
Not rum.
Speaking of food, can we talk
Please
about
do.
the spread?
trappings?
Yes.
trappings?
Did you see the new picture of the spread that they released today?
Yeah. It's like
I'm gonna
what
pull it up because I'm afraid of the mushrooms. Arzu and I were talking about the mushrooms, and
Some
I
of
just
them are
need to-
like olives. I
Do
think.
they look
There
hallucinogenic?
are. They're so they have olives and hummus because of course.
Well, it's Mediterranean climate.
I don't think that's very Mediterranean. More just like the desert.
Yeah, I
She's
guess
talking
they
about
would
the
need a little more.
Sahara, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have that
Technically on the
creature, just like roasted one of the creatures
Mhm.
that are outside. So
Yeah,
it's
that the Tuscans have as pets. They have like a
Yeah,
roasted
like the
dog.
Oh, that was
there's-
another thought I had during this episode. Boba
that?
would be a great dog owner.
He
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
He'd have the biggest dog he could get, but clearly he
Mhm.
likes large animals.
Yeah.
What's the It's not a like husky. There's a big white floofy puffy dog, and I can't.
Malamute?
Alaskan Malamute.
Yeah, is that it? Like those things are
Marinese
massive.
mountain dog,
Those are
Maybe
big
that.
too.
Black.
They're huge.
black and brown.
Or
I feel
you
like
could get a part Rottweiler like I do.
Huge, vicious
Look
attack
at this
dog.
guy.
Mhm.
Hey, Bucky. Bucky.
Want to go
Yeah.
with Boba
Hey,
Fett?
bud.
Those ears.
Yep. That's a Rottweiler at him.
Good. Yeah. All ears.
Nice.
All ears.
Nice. Yeah, the food looked delightful. I love food, so I would probably be going to town on that table of food and enjoying it. Fennec was eating with her gloves on.
Yep, she
I
doesn't take
feel
her
like
costume
Keep
off.
the fingers clean.
Yeah, I feel like that's yeah, but when you're trying to get your blaster out of your holster and you got turkey grease all over your fingers,
I don't think that was a turkey, Justin.
Whatever
I hate to
that
break it
was.
to you.
like a something, like a whatever that was.
It did look
but
like a turkey leg. I'll give you that.
turkey leg, but I feel like the grease on the gloves would be a bad combo.
Yeah, but Boba
I
was
agreed
there in
with
his
her-
robe eating.
Which that I do support.
Yeah.
do that myself sometimes. I do agree with right. I agree with her like premise though. Like you're in the palace, you got the feast, like enjoy it a little bit. He's not even having it. I mean, it's there and it's cooked.
I mean, he did just have an assassination attempt happen to him. He's probably
All
got
the
some
more
stuff in
reason to
mind.
fuel up.
Yeah, he's gonna have the battle.
Yeah.
So, like,
Who's
what
cooking
power
all that
level
food?
do you think Boba is at right now? Because he's still like
Not as high
having
as he wants to be.
69.
okay.
He is not telling
Josh.
himself as a guinea pig yet, so he doesn't have that kind of flex yet. But he'll get there. He'll get there.
Boba,
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't have a rodent to mop his brow
Not using
with.
a he's not using a rodent sponge to wipe his face.
I can't get the picture of the food to load. I'm very sad. Boba is so confounding to me because we have no really clear idea of why he wants to be a crime boss when it's very clear that he just wants to like adopt some kids, have some good food, play with his dog. Like he does not want to rule. And I'm like, homeboy, what are you doing? What is your intention? Do you want to just like fix Tatooine? Do you see how like corrupt it is? You're like, I'm gonna fix it. Like, are you pulling a Bruce Wayne? Like, what is your intention?
Except I think he's doing a little bit better than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Bruce Wayne actually wants the crime to go away, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, that's a whole
He's a
that's a whole other
sociopath.
Yes.
podcast and episode.
Great.
Well, he's a billionaire, so already like gotta have
Yeah.
a couple screws loose.
Well, it's definitely escalated quickly for him in 3 episodes, right? Because in the first episode, it's literally him and Fennec walking around. Is it a burrito?
Does look
Yeah.
Josh.
I thought that was like a very
Burrito.
fancy crepe.
Yeah, a little
But
salsa in
do
there.
you see the
That's a
the
flatbread or
mushrooms?
something, right?
Do you see the mushrooms right underneath
Yeah.
our logo? It's like they're growing out of the dish.
Yeah.
And then there's mashed potatoes, red
They're
skin mashed
fresh.
potatoes.
All kinds of like olives there and
Ugh,
some like
I do not mess with an olive.
grape leaves up top there.
Oh my gosh, they do have the grape leaves with the,
Yeah.
the rice on the
Those
inside.
look like
Oh.
figs kind of out to the left, like some figs sitting there. Man, that looks good. That looks
I'm
good. I'd
hungry
be happy. Yeah,
Who's
it's
cooking that? The droids?
Yeah.
That little server droid?
Enough.
Yeah. enough. No
That
more food.
droid had no chill. When the watermonger, I don't respect you. Enough. Just
Murder
ready to
him.
kill him right there.
Just like
He's
Fennec's like, should we murder just a little bit, maybe?
Well, that's what happens when you get a torture droid to be your protocol
Yeah.
droid. It's like, that's it, we're burning your feet. I don't
Yeah.
God,
I love when
Matt
he
Berry.
he popped out
Matt
behind the
Berry.
rank. We're like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
And I was like, please, I hope that Rancor just like back kicks him like a horse.
I thought he was gonna. I thought it was gonna startle the Rancor and cause
Yeah.
a problem.
That's what I thought too. But he just kind of pops out like, sir, we have a problem. Yeah, the
And he's like, go away. I'm petting
Yeah.
my
I'm
dog.
playing.
I want to see the Rancor like as a puppy, you know, like acting like, you know, just like a
fetching a
obedient
tennis
pet.
ball.
Yeah. Or a droid or something a little bit bigger.
Droid head.
Yeah.
Just bring a BB-8 unit, just roll it up and down.
Yeah, I couldn't help the serving droid. I couldn't help think of like my grandmother, my short little Italian grandmother, when we would eat and get together for family dinners. Just literally a giant spread of food, and she would just keep coming out with plates. You're like, here, eat.
There's only 2 of them.
Eat.
Who's eating all that?
And right, I'm
Where
like,
are the kids?
where's
Yeah, feed the kids.
yeah? There's 2 of them there.
The
But
rest
yeah,
goes
it
to the
was,
Rancor.
yeah, it was funny. Well, he did offer up a, what did he offer him? A full.
Ronto.
Ronto, yeah.
Yeah, the Rancor's getting fed, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, gotta take care of it, man.
Two of the Vespa gang kids got way more FaceTime than the other 2. Like the blonde
got
boy
me?
who fell off of his bike. Oh my goodness, he barely got any screen time at all.
Well, I
He's
mean,
a
he
red
fell off
shirt.
his bike.
Pretty
He doesn't
cheek.
deserve
I
it.
know.
Pretty cheekbones.
Did he have mutton chops? It looked like he had like mutton chops, like right here. But
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I love how they all have like
Picture 'em saved.
weapons built into like the
He had like a
their
little
clothing
torch or
their
something.
cybernetics. He had like a laser cutter, I think, like on his gauntlet, and then
I think that was
yeah,
built
with
into his
the
arm. That's their whole thing. They
yeah,
have
and the
like
other guy had it like in his boot with like a
cybernetics.
blade, and he was like
It-
stomping the engine.
It just reminds me of the people, like some people who get like tattoos like right when they turn 18 and they're just like really stupid. And you just know by the time they hit 30, they're going to be like, why did I do this?
10 years when his eye is like malfunctioning and not working anymore. And he's like, man, I wish I'd have just kept my real eye. And
Yeah.
Really
She's like, my
regret
hand was
that.
perfectly fine. Why did I do this?
yeah, that's crazy. What do you guys what do you guys think of the callbacks? We talked about it a little bit during the chase scene, right? You saw the rickshaw from the prequels, right? That Padme and Anakin were riding around in. We saw that one. We saw the pit droid ducking and covering when the speeder was coming down the street. Are you guys, Candace, Alberto, are you guys enjoying the callbacks that we're getting in these episodes to say, hey, this is Tatooine, this is how it was, this is still how it is, it's kind of this remote, desolate location? Are you guys digging those?
I am, for the most part, especially that previous episode. Again, that train sequence reminded me a lot of Solo and all the things that we got. And then this episode, also with that chasing, as I mentioned earlier. And I think they're pretty subtle. That it doesn't take you, oh, look, yeah, you remember that thing, like the spider at the beginning that everyone freaked out in the trailer. It's there, it does nothing. It's, oh, you remember this, right? Oh, here it is. Whatever. I didn't care too much for that one. But the other ones, seeing Pelimoto walking by, the pit droid, the rickshaw was pretty funny, especially moving those bits around, which look great, which is some of the issues I have is with the production. Some things, they just kind of, we run out of money, so just do whatever. But then you have the Rancor look awesome. I didn't like that creature in the first episode. And then they spend all this money. What I kind of looked at it, oh, you have X amount of budget for this episode, and they just go full on for one thing, and then kind of start running out of money for the end, and then you have the slow speeder chase. But all in all, the callbacks to Tatooine worked for me so far, so I'm digging it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Tatooine doesn't seem like a place that would have a lot of progress.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that we see things from the prequel era.
Agreed.
And yeah.
And I do love at the beginning where they show the different sections of Mos Espa and everything. Oh, this is the part that belongs to Trandoshans, and this belongs to whoever. Because in the first episode, someone was complaining, where's the spaceport? This is not from the prequels. No, look how big this place is. And it's there you go.
Yeah, we only saw a very small part of it in the prequels.
Was that R5 doing the projection of the city there? Did anybody catch the droid that's actually like projecting that map?
Nope.
I couldn't tell.
I didn't pay any attention.
Is there a droid behind it underneath?
Yes, there's a droid. There's an astromech behind 8D8 right there that's projecting the map that he's standing by, and it's really dark, so you can't really see it. But it looks like R5 kind of, and it's. But I couldn't tell. I couldn't see the paint job obviously because it's dark.
Not the same one that was bringing the food later on, pulling double duty
too.
Yeah, it has a bunch of jobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like the only droid left there. Like, oh my gosh, I get no rest. They're working me hard. But yeah, he's that could have been that one too. It's just hard with the paint because I know in was it Clone Wars when we were looking at we thought it was Ahsoka's droid at the end, and we went back.
Oh, well, they straight up switched the paint in two different shots on that one.
So
this one was just in a shadow. You can see it from a different angle than the one we had a picture of, but I couldn't tell what it was.
Okay. When I went back and I was watching these after the second episode, I was like, all right, well, what would make Boba Fett leave the Tuskens and go off and follow Fennec or find Fennec, follow Mando and do those things? And we got it in this episode, which is a heart-wrenching.
They just all get murdered. That's all.
They all
Off screen.
killed. Yeah. Hard to watch, like hard to see that. And he obviously was affected by it. But I was like, well, what's going to make him go off and leave this group? And that was it. So
figured he was going to die. They were. Gonna
Isn't
die.
that the same group of people that he just beat up in the cantina last week though? Like where did they walk? Did they get new speeders? Was there a group of them that weren't at the bar? Did he leave some of the speeder bikes
Was there a lot
behind?
of time in between? Was there time in between?
We don't know how much time elapsed.
Yeah, Star Wars timelines.
Actually, couldn't have been that much because they still had their protection contract with the Pikes.
That's what I'm saying. Like the timeline is funky. But
I just don't think there was that much time. And I'm guessing that that was only a couple guys at the bar. Like that the biker gang must actually be much bigger, because if Boba can take out, all 6 or 7 of them
Well,
with
that's
a training club.
And when
you
he's
know.
still like injured, because unless he gets injured again, I don't know.
Although granted, I'm assuming that those bikers didn't like pull up, get out, talk to the Trandoshans, and then start fighting. They probably there's probably like a drive by, even like a
Yeah, but the
Guns
Tuscans are loaded down with some tech now too that they just got from that from the train, so they shouldn't have been as easy to just like, oh, we have bikes and fancy blasters, we
Yeah.
can just blow you away. I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and if you want a really good article, Jordan Mason wrote a really great article about how very not cool the whole Tuscan situation is for Gizmodo today that came out, and it's really good. And I implore everyone to read it because
You mean for killing them off, or for how?
Yeah.
They were okay.
Yeah, well, the whole thing.
Arzu also wrote something for
Yeah.
Waffle that gives
Jordan
a good point of view.
Is indigenous, and he talked about just the way that like seeing his like people represent it and then pretty mercilessly slaughtered for a plot device is not a great look. Star Wars.
All of us here were hoping that we would see them again come help Boba later on with something, right? Like it had been already, like they got killed by the train going by randomly, they died in the train heist, like there was tons of them that had already passed. I think we were hoping that we would see them come back and help.
And the child, like that was not.
What I don't get is like Boba had already been changed by that point. I don't understand how their deaths make him move forward.
Yeah, he didn't need this to be motivated. He was a different person already.
Yeah, he was already
This didn't need to happen for him to. Oh no, I'm gonna be a different person. So no.
It just
There's
added
so many,
to it, but it wasn't necessary.
like there's so many ways that they could have been like, okay, your time with us is past. It's time for you to like find your own path. Like you didn't have to kill them. That didn't have to be the motivator. Like
they could be like
come back and they left and the tribe is gone. Like they've moved on or something. Some crisis arose and they left.
Could have been like he saw his armor again and they're like, you need to reclaim your past to move on with the future or something like that.
Yeah.
And you need to go, or maybe he finds Finnick. And they're like, you need to help her. Like, we helped you.
Like Cobb Vanth walking around in his armor. Then gone back to the Tuscans and said, hey, I appreciate everything you've done for me, but I need to go on a separate journey now to reclaim my family's armor. So I must leave. And then he's gone and the Tuscans are fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think how, like, I don't know. I am really curious to see how they pay off, because like we know that he's watching Cobb Vanth, and I wonder what the payoff will be of him seeing Cobb and Mando working with the Tuscans to take down the Crate Dragon. Like there could have been a really cool connection of like that having been part of the tribe.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
I thought that's what it was going to be too. And so now I'm like, and I mean, not to like knock Jon Favreau. He's a fine writer, but he leans so heavily on the tropes of actual Westerns and doesn't, like, I love tropes, but I love taking tropes and then building on them. And there was so much potential to like take the very blatant Western tropes and flip them like I thought they were going to. And then they're like, actually, no, we're just going to kill off all the Indians. Like, we're going to do the same thing that they always do. The cavalry came and wiped out the thing. And now the guy that just got adopted is the last of the tribe. Like
the last Mohican.
You think the Tuscan warrior, the one that was training him, is still around? Because we didn't see her body. We saw the chief, basically. We saw the kid's stick, but we didn't see the big warrior. So I don't know if she's still around and will come back at some point.
Or if they didn't even bother to show her.
Yeah,
worse.
I don't. It's hard though too, because I don't know that that warrior would have just left, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless they were kidnapped by the biker gang, which is
then that's a whole other like.
Or she went. She was somewhere else at the time.
Jon Favreau, I'm praying to you fast. Don't do it.
Yeah. Like another team up with that warrior and Boba would be awesome. Like coming to his aid later on, and I think we'd like to see that, but I don't know. It's hard because I didn't see it. I mean, the chief clearly you saw, but it just it was a little heart wrenching, and
my heart
how they did
I
that.
was just like, how could you do this, Star Wars? You were doing the right thing.
See, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. And it was just like, especially like only in the third episode it happened. And I was like, this soon? This soon?
Yeah.
I think it's happened off screen, and like you guys said, at the end of the last episode, Boba tells them, "Oh, now you have a way to defend yourself. You have all this technology. You're fine. Oh no, you're dead."
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had
At
been
least
doing
see
fine
them defend.
beforehand.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
changed?
Yeah.
Did
Well,
they
that
make
was
more
this-
of a target on them now? Is that it?
Do you think that Pikes sent this gang to deal with them?
I mean,
I think
that's,
they were.
That's my assumption.
Well, I think he's going to feel guilty because it was payback for him beating him up in the other bar.
Yeah.
And stealing their bikes. But it's like you were just saying, like he did the whole thing about like you guys are warriors and now you have technology too, and you can stand up for yourselves and you know every sand in the Dune Sea but
Oops.
why did you say all those things? Like, what was the point of it all?
It's
Yeah.
like the last episode was very like, if you have any ancestors who were invaded, it was, or like, you know, colonized. It was very fantasy fulfillment watching the last episode. They're like, oh, you guys are taking it back. You know, you guys are fighting these colonizers and stuff like that. And then like this episode happened and you're just like,
Pull the
oh,
rope.
there goes that, you know.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it is believable. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause,
that's the
like,
sad thing.
For me,
but-
I was like, yeah, take down the British, you know?
I know, like all the tweets that were like, if you guys are sad about the Tuscans, wait until you find out what the U.S. government's done.
yeah, I mean, wait till
Find
you
out what
read
happened to
some
India.
all of history everywhere. Yeah.
Let me tell you some stories about my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely not easy to watch. And not the whole outcome that I think we hoped that we would have seen for the
No.
Tuscans. So
thought we were past it, you know?
yeah, I think we're gonna get more of the Kenton Riders, that biker gang. I think we're gonna see more of them, obviously, in the show. You know, I don't know if the Hutts are coming back or not. I like seeing the Hutts. I think they've done a good job with the CGI on the Hutts. The rank, all of it looks great. But yeah, it's what we got.
I think they did leave us with a big question at the end that we have not discussed.
What's that one?
So they said there's whatever a dozen pikes more coming.
Oh yeah, they
We're
were all
gonna
coming
go
off
to-
that ship, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go to war, but we'll be ready. Like, how are you gonna be ready? There's 8 of you. Like who?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like
who's
4 of
he?
y'all.
He's
are
already
like-
outnumbered.
So I think this
So-
is for. Sorry if I'm skipping, but moving forward, possibly for next episode, we saw in the trailer him sitting with the other kind of crime boss with Trandoshans.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, the Pikes are here. We gotta team up under my rule, and that's what's gonna probably throw him off. Oh, you just got here. You're not gonna lead us.
You're the new guy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be where he goes to the Trandoshans and the Aqualish and whoever else, and it's like, okay, we gotta
We got to team up.
Stand
Gotta team
up.
up.
yeah.
I still want
Yeah,
the
my
big
bike's
bad
here.
to be-
Yeah.
Yeah, look at her cool
Yeah.
bed.
You can
I got
get
2
one.
Gamorreans, an assassin, and 4 Vespas.
And a
Who's
rank
with
4.
me?
But like Fennec is like 20 people though. Fennec counts as 20.
She's a master assassin.
Yeah, so like
Can I just say that I don't think necessarily that the pikes would be enough to frighten away the Hutts. The Hutt twins seemed pretty unnerved.
Yeah.
that's true.
And I think that it makes a lot of sense that we're having, you know, we just had the War of the Bounty Hunters. Now we're having the Kira comic book where like she's very clearly a powerhouse at this period of time and has made herself known throughout all of these crime syndicates. And we're really pushing the crime syndicate phrasing and all of these kind of like powerhouses and the Hutts and everybody. I feel like she'd be pretty frightening. Like if she set her sights for Tatooine,
Jeez.
I'd haul ass out of there and be like, yo. have fun.
Also, can I just say that yeah, Emilia Clarke is currently like working on Marvel stuff. They got the volume right there.
Mhm.
You know, they say, Emilia, let's just put you in this outfit.
Pop on
Just-
over, shoot some
and
scenes.
like
Yeah, just a few lines, maybe put you in a hologram or something.
on my live stream for the Hollywood Critics Association, we were talking about like how Amelia would definitely have been something really hard to keep secret. But
it's
I
Marvel.
posited the idea that it would be really easy for the very last episode for somebody to be talking to a hologram of her because she could film that anywhere, and that would
Mhm.
only be between her, the director, and the FX people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can say it's under Marvel. Be like, oh, this is something for Secret War, you know?
Yeah,
It would be
I
the
was
exact
now.
same It would be the exact same thing she did with Maul at the end of Solo with her on the
Exactly. And we've had so many Solo callbacks. I just feel like the Solo callbacks are such a, like, I can't tell if they're a red herring and they're just like, hey, we finally figured out that Solo is actually kind of fun. Or if it's like, hey, remember Solo?
Yeah.
But yeah, we have so much, like, it's the crime syndicates, and like,
And we have this comic book run.
Well,
There's
my
all the
thought was that
crime
it's not the Pikes. Nobody's
It can't
scared
be
of
the
the
Pikes.
Pikes.
nobody's scared.
They're essentially potheads who like run weed. Like nobody's scared of
They're
Pikes, so they're not
catfish
like
with human bodies.
which like we finally saw their faces and that's it. That's why they wear
Right.
masks, because they're not scary.
They're not intimidating.
Yeah.
That's our interpretation, though. In universe, they always act like, "Oh, the Pike Syndicate, don't you? They're gonna get you." So
That's what like a random mechanic says, though. That's
But,
not
like,
what
the
anybody
sisters
that's
freaked
like
out
tough
when they
says.
realized it was the Pikes, and Ahsoka
Unless
did
they-
too.
yeah,
Unless they
Ahsoka.
know. Well,
Mm,
I
Your
didn't
girl.
really get that at the time either, though.
no. Or Ahsoka could have just been like upset, like, you guys are working with the drug people. Like, that's
Yeah.
more of it.
She is the Marvel Universe. She is going to be in Secret Invasion.
Mhm. Mhm.
She is
We
indeed.
did talk about that a little bit on the podcast. We had brought up the question that when they first meet the twins, when Boba and Fennec first meet the twins, at the end of the conversation, you know, Fennec was like, "Do you think it's done?" And he said no. And she's like, "Well, if we want to kill him, we need permission." And
From
the
who?
what the
Well, the
question
Hut
came
Council
up
probably.
I favored the Hut
Thank you, Maggie. Of course, it's the HUD Council.
or do you go to somebody else in a crime syndicate or whoever's running the crime syndicate to get permission to kill the Hut?
How do we
The
know
Huts
that?
are a
Mayor
crime
Domo.
syndicate, and they have a whole council of leaders.
Why would the council approve to kill their own bloodline or their
They
own?
did it
Haven't they
with
before?
they did it with the what's the guy who talks like Truman Capote?
Zero?
Yeah.
It's zero.
Zero?
Sorry, that's what he sounds like.
That's nice, dude. But yes,
Am I wrong?
No, I love it though.
yeah. It's just it's interesting because they're what the niece.
Because they're the mafia. They're like
Yeah.
they're the mafia. They have crime bosses, then they have underlings, and they
They got
run
Fredo.
like
They're gonna kill the
all
Fredo
kinds
off.
of things. And when you got to kill somebody, you got to get approval, or you're starting a war.
True.
Like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Come on, Justin.
I don't
you're
know why this
Italian.
was a
You're
debate.
supposed to know these
I've
things.
seen all these movies.
Wow,
Yeah,
Maggie.
Josh is clamming up right now, but he was on Justin's side when we
I'm a
recorded
little
last time.
because they let Bib basically take over. They didn't put the twins in place right after. Bib just kind of took over, and I'm like, okay, really, Bib is less intimidating than Boba Fett. Not going to buy it, right? But I think Bib had been in the family long enough.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, you can run the operations, right?
He was probably giving him a kickback and stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah.
maybe
He
the
did-
twins weren't
He
ready,
wasn't
and then
trying
they
to
said, all right,
rock the
well,
boat.
Bib's dead now. All right, and the twins are like, well, hey, look, we have rightful claim to this, and that's why I can't believe that the Hutts would be like, yeah, it's cool, Boba, you just were like
Here's a dog.
bounty
Here's-
hunter for
Bye.
for Jabba. That's all you were a hired gun for Jabba. Yeah, sure, you can have the throne. Go ahead and kill the twins. I'm not buying that. Like, I'm just
I
not
think it's
getting
Well,
some
that.
sort
no.
of hierarchy, but it's not the Hut Council.
Well, no, it's not like that. It's like he tried to kill me, so I'm gonna let you know I'm gonna kill him, and then we're done with this.
It's like having an
That's
official
how-
duel thing.
Yeah, that's
Like,
how
it's like,
crime.
hey.
You put a hit out on somebody and it doesn't work, you're getting whacked. That's how it works. Like that. I like watch a single mafia movie. It's all of them. It happens in every single one. In The Sopranos, it happened like 32 times.
I gotcha. I'd just be surprised if it's Kira.
They
Like,
just
I
they
go
don't seem to
through
care
there,
about their
she's on-
families that much, except Jabba
They
was
don't.
stinky.
And that's his like son who was still a baby at the time.
Yeah,
he
once
wasn't like a
once
teenager
hit-
that
yeah.
pissed him off and
Exactly.
spent a
Yeah.
bunch of
At
his
that point.
money, getting him out of trouble. Yeah.
Mhm.
He would have been like, Dooku, keep him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Off to steal a Hut baby.
On a totally unrelated note, I finally got my picture of the pretty boy to load.
There he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, look at that. Like
He's
he's
so
got the
pretty.
he's like a Harry Potter character. Look at this. He's got the long cape going.
He
Yeah,
does.
that's a
look like
rich
he's
kid. That's a rich
British.
kid.
Yeah.
They are such tryhards.
Came up with a whole backstory for him. He finished university. He went to Tatooine. He keeps telling his parents, "Yeah, no, everything's great. Just send a little bit more money." He's the one paying for all of them to get their cybernetic enhancements. He just keeps being like, yeah, I just need a little bit more money.
Just
like,
use your
rent's going
parents'
up.
credit card. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is he like the one? Is he the one rich kid that's in league with all the hood rat kids? Like,
Yes.
he's
That's-
hard?
Yeah.
That's why he fell off his Vespa and couldn't ride it as
He's
good.
just not good. He's just the pretty face.
He's the fun trust fund kid.
Which was
I'm
You're
actually
giving
I'm
Kyle
actually in
way
the
too much
witness.
credit.
I'm in the witness protection agency right now.
with sex.
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because in that car chase, the chase, the two went off on a totally different direction to like cut him off, and then they ended up like right back in
And
line.
they were in the same exact order. Yeah.
It's like didn't understand that, and then what she landed her best.
Obviously, Mos Espa is on the grid system, which makes it very easy to do car chases. You go down the road that's going the right direction or the wrong direction, and you just cut them off. It's super easy. Grid system cities are the best to have car chases in. You don't want to be in a non-grid system.
Certainly don't want to
I
be in a
really
roundabout.
don't think
Oof.
those kids are supposed to be impressive at all. I think we're supposed to make fun of them.
But I love them.
Yeah, I love them. They're just like such little.
It was a Spy Kids movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
they
love it.
came in handy though. They
And
proved
Danny
their
Trejo
worth.
showed up, so it's a Spy Kids movie.
It's a Spy Kids movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
Next
this means
week-
that.
Antonio Banderas.
I hope like Robert like really enjoys working with Tamara and Migne and like puts them in his future movies because I think they would be amazing.
Yes.
And a Rodriguez film.
Which I love Danny Trejo's outfit. It was like the most basic black leather Star Wars outfit you could find.
I
I'm
think that's just what he wore to set
Yeah,
that day.
they just called, hey, we need someone to.
He just
fill
wore
this
that.
Oh,
role."
you're fine. Yeah.
we were filming Machete Kills 3 over in the next studio, and he just like walked over like, "Hey, can I have a role on this show?"
He
But-
might have been doing stuff with the Muppets because he's done multiple things with the Muppets.
He
Yeah.
has.
And it's amazing
Mm-hmm.
Why is Elmo so hot right now? Speaking of the Muppets?
because he has a
You
celebrity
Elmo's having a
feud
whole-on moment.
with Rocco. People didn't know
The-
that.
a
Elmo
rock?
could- Yeah,
Yes.
people didn't know he could like.
He's
lose
having
his
a
mind.
full-on coup.
He's sarcastic. He is annoyed. He's yelling. Like, but this has been going on for years, and
Since
just
the
people have
1990s.
gotten
Why
to
is it
see
coming
now.
to a head now?
Because the video came
Twitter?
out on Twitter.
Because
And
Twitter. Yeah.
He had to make a
'Cause people are
statement
bored?
and everything. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah.
I thought
he
it
had-
was because he was making recipes on some talk show and the ingredients sound gross, but they taste good together. I don't
No,
know.
but
That's
he
the
did
video I
hit
saw.
Jimmy Fallon, but I don't blame him for that.
He hit him?
He hit him.
That's
There's
assault,
video-
brother.
Yeah. Look, Jimmy Fallon was making
Island.
him look bad because he didn't know words to the song.
Oh
And
well.
he banned him from Sesame Street. It was,
Wow. Lifetime
Fallon
ban
had it
from
coming.
Sesame Street.
Wow.
Look.
Somebody's
at
quick
Elmo.
with the
Yeah.
Google
Those
search.
eyes. They're intense. He's got that
I
vision.
think-
Look at him.
That's
He's just
super
staring you
good.
down.
And there's the Rock.
Rocco.
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 can have
Rocco's
a
a
cookie.
man.
Oh my goodness.
How's he gonna eat that cookie?
Well, we hope you guys have had fun talking about episode 3, Book of Boba Fett here. I've had fun talking about the Skittles gang, Vespas, everything. in
Sesame
between.
Street.
Sesame
Yeah, Elmo.
Street, Elmo. We had a little bit of everything tonight. We only had one Pokemon drop, same one from last week. So, Kyle, I expect you to up your Pokemon knowledge next week. That is not a Pokemon. Definitely not a Pokemon, but yeah. So for Justin, Josh, Kyle, Maggie, thank you for joining us. Candace, Alberto, I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Is there anything you guys want to promote? Anything you guys want to get out there? Shout out to anybody? Go!
Whoa!
Sorry,
Put the
I
knife
think
down,
No.
Elmo.
Next.
Elmo doesn't want us to promote
Yeah,
anything.
if you're ever feeling sad, go on YouTube and search Elmo Rocco, and there's a compilation. And
My goodness.
Oh,
you
that'll get
will-
me caught up. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
get the whole drama, and it will make you happy for a little bit, and you'll forget your worries because you don't have it as bad as Elmo.
Nothing I like
Yeah.
more than a puppet monster being mad at a rock. So
Right.
that'll be,
Okay.
good.
Yeah, we're doing at the Geeky Waffle. We're doing we're coming 2 episodes at a time. We're calling it the Book of Bonnet because if you met us,
Mhm.
you know how we roll.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're covering that on Space Waffles.
Nice.
And yeah, you can find that at thegeekywaffle.com.
There you go. Alberto?
Yeah, so if you're not done with Book of Boba Fett episode 3, join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Radio Rebellion podcast YouTube channel. We have a few guests tomorrow talking about it. Candace's gonna be there in a few weeks. Maggie's gonna be there for that finale. I don't know why I keep inviting them, but we have a lot of fun when they're there.
We've been good today,
I know,
Maggie.
I know.
So good.
I mean, okay. Where's the picture
said,
of Tamara?
I did not do pictures, so I did not get a picture of him. naked.
See, you're getting uploads from the male gaze. That's why it was all
I feel like the male gaze
Bulbasaur
can
and
appreciate
Elmo.
what we
Yeah,
saw.
but-
That
yeah.
man is in his 60s.
He looks good.
He has aged
looks
quite well. Yeah.
He looked good.
My dad's 60 and does not look like that. Sorry, Dad.
Wow, just call him out live.
Sorry, Dad.
Because most of our dads don't look.
No
like
offense meant, but
Oh,
you're
yeah.
also not a movie star, so
that. But thank you guys. We appreciate you guys coming on, talking with us about
Thank you.
Boba Fett here. We appreciate it. Everyone, I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe.
Do
There's snow
crime.
coming, I think, on Sunday, at least here in the Midwest. So, be careful in the snow if you're out there driving. Be safe on ice. As always, may the force be with you.
for light and life. If you're gonna whack a made man, you got to get approval from the boss. Everybody knows that.
Hope you fight better than you talk dank.
The boss.
Ah!
Elmo's talking dank.
Elmo's world.
Unidentified vessel. Please submit your clearance codes. I can bring you in warm. Or I can bring you in cold.
This is Justin.
The force will be with you.
This is Kyle.
Always.